Shalom Israel. First, I'm going to start by giving all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, double honors unto the elders, apostles, and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, rule well, teach, and edify, and Shalom unto you want their elect. My name is Ishaya, and Adawan Ratazah going to make an edifying video going into the pride of life. So being in this world, also being in Babylon the Great, America, we've been given into a land of confusion. The essence of life has not been given unto a man, so they know not, the things that are true. They don't know, if you growing up here, your parents tell you, go have fun and shit. Then you graduate high school, go to college, get a job, find you a nice wife, have a nice, beautiful, monogamous relationship with a white picket fence and a nice car until you settle into retirement. My mom was telling me to set up a fucking retirement fund since, which was I think it was 16 when I got my first job. She was talking about setting up a retirement fund, and that's the reality of this world that we live in, that the vast majority of people are never going to sit in high councils. They're never going to find true meaning. They chase after false gods that deliver them, not, what I'm saying? They literally live a life that ends in nothing. But those that follow Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai shall find life that is eternal, that's everlasting, and that's also joyful, love, and its light. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's the difference between light and darkness. Like it says in John, John, the 1st chapter in the 5th verse, light shines upon darkness, but darkness comprehends it not. So, you coming in the spirit of power, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you see the prophets coming in week in and week out, daily, putting out videos, out there on the highways and byways, stretching forth that spiritual hand into these, trying to fish for the elect, casting that net into the 2/3. Them motherfuckers ain't picking it up, though. They can't comprehend the beauty that is within this truth because they're stuck in the pride of life. They're stuck in the love of this world. They're stuck in the simplicity, that which is, instilled in this whole entire planet. It's not even just Babylon the Great, but it's the other nations that have drinking of her wine as well. You go to other nations, you find the same type of philosophies, maybe. They're on a higher level that, as a matter of fact, they are on a higher level. Other countries aren't as over-sexualized. They're on a moral basis. They have much more morals and a better foundation, that which they walk themselves about with. But at the end of the day, it's all vanity, regardless of where the fuck that you go. You know what I'm saying? So, and this all goes to say that if you're in this truth, you are sincerely following Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you have put your hand upon that plow. You started doing the work, spiritually, every single day, showing up daily at the Lord's gates, following these law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you know what I'm saying, and giving diligence unto this truth, unto this faith, then you, as a matter of fact, have to know that the pride of this life is going to have to be extinguished. The pride of this life is going to be extinguished within you. It's lucky, man. I was just doing some voice, some singing, shit. My voice box is kind of fucked up right now. But yeah, you come into this truth, you're gonna very quickly understand that all of this is vain, which carries me to Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna start at the top in the NLT. It says, King Solomon says, I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's look for good things in life. But I found that this too was meaningless. So I said, laughter is so silly. What good does it do to seek pleasure? After much thought, I decided to cheer myself with wine. And while still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. While you're still seeking wisdom, you clutched at foolishness. That this place that we live in, man, Babylon the Great, it is a place where you can get, it's easy to fall away, man. It's easy to fall this truth, man. It's easy to get sidetracked and enthralled with all the fucking voluptuousness that this place has to fucking offer, man. This shit got all kinds of different type of monkey wrenches to throw at you. Through the spirit, they have everything that you could ever fucking lust after. on every corner of everywhere, man. You know what I'm saying? You can go online and get you a OF girlfriend and go up the street and get a fucking Gmo burger. You know what I'm saying? Go back down the street, get a foot rub by some Taiwanese woman. You know what I'm saying? And then go back up the street, back to your crib, sit in your crib, sit on the couch with some fucking Dunkin' Donuts, watch some brain rot ass Love Island TV, and then call it a fucking day. Man, that's that bullshit. And then, you know, that's the super low level people, man. Even on the higher level, man. You know, the guys that wake up 5 a.m, hit the gym, stocks, business calls, economics, making, you know, millions, making big money. You're still just doing it to buy nicer things and fuck prettier women. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit ain't nothing that's that different than the niggas is doing it on a low level, boy. And that's the fucking whole pride of life, man. Being stuck up in Babylon the Great, a place that which offers this for you, you know, contract free, man. You sign like a spiritual contract to this fucking place, man. And that's why Yahweh Shem Yahushua loosed us away from that and put us in subjection under him. And that's why now, knowing the goodness of this truth, you know, we have to walk a different way. Like the scriptures say in the Corinthians, you know, you got to be a new creature. The scriptures also say you cannot put new wine into old wine bottles, man. It'll spoil the wine. You know, all for the sake of saying that you have to be changed. And that's from the very ground up, the whole foundation of everything that you think and everything that you believe. It has to be completely changed into that which is right. You know what I'm saying? There's a quote in the world. It's like, I would agree with you, but then we would both be wrong. You know, we're not agreed with this world. The world's wrong and we're right. That's just how this shit goes. And the world hates us because we come in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is right. Going back to that, you know, John, 1:5, the light comprehend not darkness. All right, so darkness shines upon the light. You know, we put out that spiritual hand, but at the end of the day, it just can't perceive it. In applying that wisdom into your own life shows you like, man, I shouldn't be doing this or I should be doing that. You know, the scriptures do say in Corinthians, you know, all things being lawful but not expedient. There's a lot of unexpedient shit that is offered to you. And, you know, like the scriptures say that, you know, Esau wearing down the saints of the Most High, you know, it's easy to be given unto those type of things when you're in such a weak mentality, man. And that's the spirit that the apostles push down is harden your mind. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable, man. Do shit that makes you a stronger man, you know, that helps you fight off these fucking spiritual battles, you know, in the flesh, man, because it's only going to get harder and harder. We're entering into the time that the righteous shall scarcely be saved, like the scriptures say, man. You know what I'm saying? The elect are gonna be tested. This purification process isn't 99.99. This is 100% purification, right? And so those that are of the elect are going to endure through it all, regardless of how hard it may be. It's going to be very difficult. But that's the type of training that we're going through now to be able to prove ourselves in that time. Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 3. After much thought, I decided to cheer myself with wine, and while still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. In this way, I tried to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. And that's facts, man. You know, the retirement age in America is actually shorter than your, you know, expected death expectancy, your life expectancy. You know, the life expectancy for a man, I believe, is 65. The leading cause of death is some type of cardiovascular issue, you know, a cardiac arrest, you know, heart attacks. But what does Esau give you? He gives you foods that clog your arteries. He gives you salts and all kinds of sauces and all kinds of bullshit. And high stress, which higher your blood pressure, which is also called hypertension, which puts a lot of strain on your heart as the days go on. You know what I'm saying? You know, you sit in the office most of the time, or say you do have an active job, you know what I'm saying? You find your first opportunity to sit your ass down because of how stressed you are all the time. So you're not getting really good, any real good cardiovascular training in. Heart's weak. Man, these motherfuckers literally attacking you at the heart, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they're raising the retirement age to 67. But the life expectancy of a man is 65. That's the type of fucking rulership we're under, man. This devil's got to be put down. So why would you want to even dwell with it, man? There's no pride of life here, man. You know, this shit is just we're spiritual pilgrims, man. Like the scriptures tell us, man. pilgrims. We're just passing through here. We're not here to fucking enjoy this shit. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It will destroy thee with a sword destruction. It's like, is polluted. All right? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, having your mind set on the fact that all of this shit is vain, whenever you make your decisions and the things that you do, and it's okay to enjoy certain things. Like the scriptures say, be ye users of the world, but not abusers thereof. There's a balance into that which you have to do, because at the end of the day, we're still in this flesh. We're not perfect. Yahweh Shai is perfect. We looked unto him, when he was doing his walk, and he was able to do it perfectly, here in the flesh. But we're not Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? That's our Lord. That's who we look up to. Hebrews 12:2, looking unto the author and finisher of our faith. We look unto him for the things that we do. So, just through the Spirit, just try to make better decisions. That's going to be commanded of everyone as we get closer into the end times. Or actually, Salaki, as we get closer to Jacob's trouble. We're already in the end times. You know what I'm saying? We're fucking right there on the doorstep of Jacob's trouble. So it's only going to get harder and harder the closer we get. I try to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. I also try to find meaning by building huge homes for myself and by planting beautiful vineyards. I make gardens and parks, filling them with all kinds of fruit and trees. I built reservoirs to collect the water to irrigate my many flourishing groves. So really good, really nice estate. I bought slaves, both men and women, and others were born into my household. I also owned large herds and flocks, more than any of the kings who have ever lived in Jerusalem before me. I've collected great sums of silver and gold, the treasures of many kings and provinces. And if you look into the times of King Solomon, it was like 40 years apiece. If you loosely translate to how much money he had, and in current currency, it would go to about $2.1 trillion. And I believe it was actually more. They just can't even really put it on they can't accurately, tell how much all that would translate to. The gold was pure back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But, I believe it was more, but $2.1 trillion. He had 1,000 wives, 700 wives and 300 concubines. He's powerful. He had land, state, power. He was able to see all of the things in the flesh at the highest level that it could have been done at. Out here, most people are only able to exercise the flesh on a low-ass level. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't got no 1,000 wives. They don't got no trillions. They don't got shit, man. You might have a nice car and a couple bitches, but, at the end of the day, that's still a low level. And learning from a man who has had it all, taking his advice in this scripture here. If you read on, I'm gonna skip down to the 10th verse. Yeah, anything I wanted, I would take. I denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work and a reward from all my labors. But as I looked at everything I had worked so hard to accomplish, it was all so meaningless. So a man that literally had everything that you could have thought about, all the pleasures that you could even dream about, all of it at the end thereof was just meaningless. Like chasing the wind, there was nothing really worthwhile anywhere. So I decided to compare wisdom with foolishness and madness, for who can do it better than I, the king? So if you go all the way down to the last few verses here, it says, I'll probably just go to the 24th verse. So I decided there's nothing better than to enjoy food and drink and find satisfaction in work. Then I realized that these pleasures are from the hand of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. For who can eat or enjoy anything apart from him? Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to those who please him. But if a sinner becomes wealthy, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai takes the wealth away and gives it to those who please him. This too is meaningless, like chasing the wind. So at the end of the day, everything is Lord's will. Everything that we do is from the Lord. The fact that you're able to smile is actually from the Lord. That's a spirit given unto you, from the Lord, just like the spirit of grief. You know what I'm saying? The Lord literally instructs every path, every word that you say, every time you blink, every time that you speak. Give all your praise and might into praising the Lord, man. You know, we're not here to fucking enjoy ourselves. You know, although at times you will enjoy yourself, man. Though at times the Lord will throw you a bone here. Sometimes he will give you a pleasure. But don't set your mind on the pleasures. Like the scriptures say, force not the course of the river, man. If you out here trying to force the course of the river, constantly seeking pleasures, even though it's not your time to have those pleasures, then guess what, man? You're going to dry yourself out. Because what happens if you force the course of a river? It collapses on itself and it will fucking dry out. You have to let that river naturally expand so that it can withhold more. And that's just the growth in this spirit, man. You know, being patient. Like the scriptures say, let patience have a perfect work. You know what I'm saying? As you get stronger in the spirit, you're able to, you know, move smarter ways, man. Make better decisions. You know, things you'll be able to do, you know, in the best order. 1 John 2:15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. That's open and close right there. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So we coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, trying to deny the world and reject all the bullshit that's here. It would behoove bros to, you know, rebuke that shit. As the scripture say, Sirach 18:20. Before judgment, examine thyself. In the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. So, like just like that, man, examine yourself. Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little of this? You know, am I really putting the Lord firstly before everything else that's in my life? What does that look like? And how can we keep that and maintain that? Because the thing about this truth is longevity. You know what I'm saying? This is a marathon, not necessarily a 100-meter race. It's not go hard for like literally 10 seconds or 9 seconds if you good. You know what I'm saying? And then just stop, you know? 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so run that you may obtain. Run that you may obtain. We're running this spiritual race. There's some motherfuckers out here running for some glory and shit, and they sprint hard as fuck, but then they burn out. Niggas trip over their shoe or something because they came ill prepared to, you know, run this race that we're running. Like the scriptures say, run that you may obtain. So the way that you want to run is to make sure that you win. So if you know this is a marathon, run in accordance to that, man. You know, take things slow. Give your faith unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua that he may instruct your paths the right way. Like the scriptures say in the Psalms 140s, man. You know, David giving those prayers to Lord to instruct his path. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me as I grab this. Salakia. I'll read this one real quick too because it's good. It says Psalms 141:2. It says, "My prayers, let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and lifting up my hands as the evening sacrifice." You know, so that's the importance of prayer. We have to ask the Lord for the Spirit to be able to do these things, to be able to progress in the Spirit. Set a watch, O Lord Yahweh, before my mouth. Keep the doors of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity. Let me not eat of their dainties. It says verse 5, let the righteous smite me, it shall be a kindness. Let him reprove me, and it shall be an excellent oil which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities. You know, for the sake of, you know, keeping in righteousness and dwelling within that type of spirit. But Salaki, I'm looking for one more. I know it's out here. I got it highlighted in my actual sword, but Salaki, I'm looking at it right now. So Psalms 142, and I'll just start at the top. As I cried unto the Lord Yahweh with my voice unto the Lord Yahweh did I give my supplication. And a part of that prayer is the sincerity to it. You have to sincerely want to reject this world, man. You have to sincerely want to be like, this actually is not it. If you're just saying the shit and not actually believing it, the Lord knows your heart. Like the scriptures say, the Lord searches the hearts of every man. You know, there's nothing that you can fucking hide from the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. The way you really feel about the world, the Lord understands. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you could act like, oh yeah, fuck this world. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that bullshit. You know, but you fucking with the world type shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide that dance. I poured out my complaint before them. I shewed before him my trouble. So, you know, we cast our burdens into the Lord because it's very, very harsh being here, man. You know, so we ask the Lord to give us the spirit to endure through it. And we're not asking the world to give us the spirit to endure through it. If you ask the world to give us the spirit of endurance, they're going to give you nothing but lusts and bullshit that's going to set you back. But if you pour your complaints before Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he will give you the spirit of a man to be able to take that shit on the chin and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? He'll make you stronger for that season. Verse 3, when my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knewest my path, and the way wherein I walked, they had Salakia. I walked, have they privately laid a snare for me. I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. So they don't give a fuck about you. You try to go to the world asking for help. You try to go, you know, like the scriptures say, woe unto them that go into Egypt for help. Egypt ain't gonna help you for shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a destruction, man. And we're living in modern day Egypt right now. And no man cared for my soul. You know, this place is a fleshly place. You can't heal your soul off of any of the fatness of this place, man. No man, no car, no woman, no house, no dog, no cat, no nothing is gonna fucking save your soul besides Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which will give salvation unto his elect, chiefly the 144,000 that will be delivered into the chariots. Right? He says, I cried unto thee, O Lord Yahweh. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Right? These are refuge. Attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. The righteous shall compass me about, for thou shalt deal bountiful with me. So praying unto the Lord that he deals with you and keeps you in this walk. Hey, boom. Look like a little firework when I said that, but it's a spirit. But, you know, so don't submit to the Lord, bro. The pride of life, you know, the part of the pride of life, what that meaning, you know, let's go back to that verse real quick. Just kind of touch back on it. 1 John 2:16 says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. That's all of the, you know, entities that the world possesses, man. The pride of life. And being the fact that we're here, you have that pride of life, man. You breathe and you inhale and you exhale. You look around and you see. Your ears are open to hear. You can hear a firework, you can hear music, but are you in a spirit type shit? You know what I'm saying? Are you really in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? Are you, you know, rebuking that spirit that's in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, for better words, I ain't trying to be, you know, confusing. I want to make this plain, but, you know, everything that we do has to be in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we have to submit to the Lord and pray for the Spirit to be able to endure through this. Don't go to the Lord. Don't go to the fucking world for refuge, because the only thing that's going to give you is the pride of life. You know, you're going to look at the works of the things that you have. You're going to look at the car that you have. You're going to look at the house you have. You're going to look at your seeds. You're going to look at, you know, your job and your position and all that bullshit. But at the end of the day, well, I'm not calling you seeds bullshit, but, you know, at the end of the day, that right there is not where your soul dwells, man. It's not your foundation in the Spirit, man. Your foundation in the Spirit is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, where your soul is kept. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai keeps your soul. You don't pray to your kids, you pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You don't pray to your job, you pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And if you pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he will give you the spirit to endure. Like King Solomon's prayer. He prayed for wisdom and to know how to go about things. And the Lord said, I will grant thee much more. So not only did he get wisdom, he also got the things of the flesh. He also got the pleasures too. But that's not the end goal, because when you set the Lord and following the Lord sincerely in the right way, you know, the Lord is going to set your heart aright to be able to go through that, and he's going to give you a bone here and there. But Lord willing, that lesson was edifying. I want to lastly give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, Shalom.